merciless Indian savages. That's what Thomas Jefferson called the Indians in the Declaration of Independence. He talked about King George III actually recruiting and stirring up Indians to fight against the white man, against European settlers. So the truth of the matter is that there were some times in the conflicts over decades and almost centuries really, where white men and Native Americans did fight, and the Indians did kill women and children, capture them, hold them for ransom. And I know that the white men did some pretty brutal things to the Indians, okay? So if you're an Indian and you see a group of white men coming and you run, at that point, are you being a racist? If you're a white man and you see a group of Indians coming and you run, are you being a racist? Or are you just using common sense? Do you know enough of the history of the conflict that you say, you know, I probably don't want to be here at this point? Or if you're a Jew in Nazi Germany in 1939, after Kristallnacht, after they had smashed up all the Jewish businesses, and you see a Nazi coming towards you with a Nazi uniform, at that point, are you being a racist? Are you being a bigot? Well, you say that all Nazis are the same. Are you being unethical, unjust in your fear and your desire to slip out of the room and get away as quickly as possible? Or are you just being prudent because of the facts on the table? When we discuss Islam, when we discuss mosques, when we discuss so-called terrorism, when we discuss Pamela Geller in the cartoons and this guy that they just shot with a knife in Boston, it is not unjust, it is not unethical, and it is not xenophobia or Islamophobia, as some of our well-meaning people in the media want to call it. It's none of those things to say there's a problem, and the problem may be inherent to Islam. If you're a regular viewer of this show, you know that we are in the middle of doing a new 14-part series called What Would Muhammad Do? That series will focus on the life and times of the founder of Islam, Muhammad. We will look at what he did, what he said, and what he permitted to happen in his presence. That is the foundation for Sharia law. It's the foundation, unfortunately, for a lot of acts that we in the West would call acts of terrorism. But in the mind of devout Muslims, are simply an act of devotion to Allah as they continue to spread the faith and to suppress infidels and to suppress heresy and error, which those of us who are not Muslims are involved with. So I close with this thought. If you are looking at someone who just might want to kill you, you're not being unjust, you're not being a bigot, you're not being a racist, to be a little bit alarmed.